Good morning. I'd like to welcome you here. I am James, also known as XG Wolverine. I have my coffee. I'm doing some walking. And we're going to do some talking. First and foremost, let me start out by saying Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Appreciate your service. Thank you for all that you've done for our country. I am not here to talk about the election from last week. I'm actually here to talk about times where we get frustrated. And we can be frustrated with an employer. We can be frustrated with a supervisor at our employer. We can be frustrated with a policy, a friend, a coworker, family member, whatever. So, with all that, when you're frustrated with somebody, or you don't like how they act or speak to you, or when you're in a situation where it's your supervisor that, may speak harshly, or a fellow coworker may speak harshly, or they may speak in a way that you don't like, you have a couple of options. The two options you have are, A, you can feed into that negativity, and you can allow that person to steal your joy. And I'm not talking about stealing your joy like walking up and stealing your wallet. I'm talking about just allowing them to just disrupt your whole day, your whole world, the whole atmosphere of your life. You could be as happy as you want to be about anything in the world that you've got going on. But you allow that one person to just set you in a sour mood and upset you and whatnot. And it does affect those around you. It affects your friends. It affects your family. If you're in a relationship, it affects your partner. And I say partner not to be PC, but because if a guy is watching this, it affects his girlfriend. If a girl's watching this, it affects her boyfriend, what have you. Or if you're in a same-sex relationship, then obviously, it affects the partner in that. You don't want to affect those around you negatively. You want to be a positive influence to everybody that you're around. If you're in a leadership position, those that are in higher leadership positions shouldn't be affecting you. They shouldn't be allowed to affect you in any type of way that will, A, discredit them and their position, and B, make you feel inadequate or less than what you are. I know that it's hard to deal with people who, they get in their feelings, they get their attitudes and whatnot for whatever reason. I understand that it can be challenging at times to deal with that. That being said, it's your responsibility to do your own self-care. You can't rely on others to do that self-care for you. So you can't, always rely on your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whichever it is, your husband, your wife. You can't always rely on them to be that person that is always going to be able to look out for you, because there's going to be points in time where they're not going to be able to look out for you because their job or what have you. It's a situation that sometimes you have to handle on your own. So, for that being said, if you ever find yourself, not if you're going to, because you're going to, it inevitably will happen. You will inevitably find yourself in a situation where you are feeling, I don't want to say accosted, but you're feeling less than because someone above you made you feel that way. You have two choices. The choices you have are, A, you can, like I said earlier, you can let that affect you in a negative way. Or B, you can sit there and you can take and you can actually talk to that person. Let them calm down. If they're in a sour mood, let them calm down a minute. And then approach them and say, hey, look, I want to talk to you about a few things. I noticed you've been acting rather grumpy toward me. Have I done something that's offended you? put you off, made you feel excluded, hurt your feelings or what have you. And then they're going to give you one of two answers. They're either going to come back and say, well, yes, you've offended me by not, treating me the way you treat other people. Or they're going to be like, they're just going to have that sour attitude and just be mad at you the whole time. And you're never going to get a straight answer. Now, if they're in a leadership position, they shouldn't be that way. They really shouldn't. It should be a situation where you're treated equally by anyone above you. Now, I don't, on my channel, usually talk a lot about the Bible. I haven't in the past. Usually we're all about playing games and having fun, blowing stuff up in GTA or driving a truck in ATS, doing whatever we're doing, right? Yakking with, Anarchist or John or Ace. Shout out to those three guys. Been a minute. We got to do something at some point. But the thing is, in my personal life, and I'm gonna give you another peek behind the curtain. I've done it before. I'll do it now. In my personal life, I am a Christian man. I believe in the Word of God. And I believe that the Bible says that we should pray for those in charge above us, whether it be at work, government, whatever. We're supposed to pray for those people. Whether we like them or not, we should pray for them. We also should respect them because they are in charge above us. Now, sometimes that's hard. I've been an associate in retail for over 20 years. And I can tell you, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. So when I say that, you should respect those, you don't have to like the person, but respect the individual. Respect the title if that's the way you want to take it. I'm just trying to put that bee in your bonnet, so to speak, to where if you feel like you're not good enough or whatever, talk to that person. You should never be made to not feel good enough. I'm not saying that your employer, your boss, your supervisor is going to always walk up, give you a pat on the back or an attaboy or attagirl type of thing. Because they're not. They're not going to give you that. They're going to give you what they give you. And sometimes we just have to be happy with that. I work, and it's nice when I get a kudos from one of my supervisors. It's really cool. From one of those people in charge above me, it's very nice to hear, hey, thanks, proud of all you do, happy you're here, thank you for as hard as you work, yada, yada, yada. I know I'm a hard worker, so I don't need that validation of them saying that I'm a hard worker or thank you for being a hard worker and all that. But it is nice to hear. And everybody should want to hear that, at least once in a while, I mean, when you work in a place and there's 150, 160 people working in the building, everybody's not going to be told, hey, thanks, great job, glad you're here. Because not everybody deserves that. You got some people that show up just for the paycheck. You got some people that show up and they'll do a little bit more than the bare minimum to keep from getting fired. But then you've got some people that show up and they give their all. And they go the extra mile and a half to do what's needed. Now, you know where you fall in that category, and if you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that you're that person or you're not that person. Now, if you go in and you work hard, it piggies back to the Bible. We should do all work as though we're doing it unto the Lord. Now, if you're not saved, I don't expect you to understand that or appreciate that. But if you are, then you know where I'm coming from and you know what I'm saying. That being said, I hope that you can take some of this and apply it. I know at my church, these last few Wednesday nights, we've been going over the book of Nehemiah from the Old Testament. And it's about leadership. And talks about the qualities of a good leader. And I'm going to say it now. Not everybody that's in a leadership position deserves to be there because they don't act accordingly. I know of situations, I will not mention them, but I do know of situations that I'm privy to from companies that are pretty big companies that, there's problems with members of management. And they shouldn't be that way. Members of management are put there to lead, guide, and direct the people under them. And they should be the ones that are the kindest of them all, I guess you would say, would be the term. That being said, it doesn't always happen that way. I was told at one point, there's 200 people in this building, and there's 200 different personalities that I have to wrangle. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I get that because everybody has a different personality and a different outlook and a different mindset. You think about the people you work with. How many of them sit there and on a regular basis go, man, I hate this job. Or, man, boss is being such a jerk today. Or, man, this policy that we just got is so stupid. Okay, we've all been there. I've been there. I've been in situations where boss was a jerk today. He didn't have enough coffee. Speaking of that, I'm going to grab me a sip. I don't want to be a jerk, so I'll use my coffee to keep me from being a jerk. But you have to remember that everybody is human. We all have different views. We all have different points on situations. We all have different opinions. We're allowed to have our different opinions. If you're a Republican and you know someone who's a Democrat, you might be just fine with that person 3.5 out of 4 years because it's just, it's Bob. Bob's a Democrat, Joe's a Republican, and Joe's over here, and him and Bob, they go fishing, they go to breakfast, they drink coffee together, they take their smoke break together. They joke, they laugh, they cut up, they talk about things, they talk about football. But the thing is, at that half point of the third year going toward the election, they have differing points of view. That may ride until the end of the year of that fourth year, but then, boom, it's going to be all right because they're going to work it out. I know I have a good friend. This guy, I won't name drop him. I will not name drop him because I'm not going to put him out there like that. But I will say, this guy is like a brother to me. I love this man. He's family. I've known this man for over 20 years. Love him to pieces. Great guy. I wish he lived, I wish he lived a lot closer than a whole trip to another state. Let's put it like that. But I love this guy. He is my brother. He and I have differing opinions on being a Christian, the Bible, and all that. You know what he don't do? He doesn't sit there and he doesn't belittle me because of my beliefs. And I don't belittle him because of his non-beliefs. I love that man no matter what. I love his family. They're all good people. But at the same time, we can have those conversations about various things. Had another guy that I used to work with that, if I had to guess, I would say that he aligned more Democrat than Republican. But here's the thing. Me and him would sit there. This is a big black guy. He stood over 6 foot tall. Nice guy. Very nice guy. But me and him would sit in the break room at lunch on a regular basis and talk about things that if anybody walked into the break room and they heard us talking, they would be like, how are they not throwing down? How are they not fighting? Because we're talking about stuff that, normal folks just don't talk about. Why? Because we could talk to each other about things and we turned it into a bouncing ideas off of each other or bouncing perspectives. Because, again, you might live in a cardboard box on the corner of 5th and Hope, and I don't. But that doesn't mean that I don't like you. That just means we're going to have differing opinions on things. You know, you might be a multimillionaire living in a big old fancy house, and I live in, you know, a little old shack, and we're going to have different opinions on things. You know, you might be a woman, and I'm a man. We're going to have differing opinions on things. Trust me, I was married. I know how that works. You know, my ex-wife and I, we did not always agree on things. We tried to, but we didn't. Of course, you know how that ended, so it is what it is. But the thing is, you have to understand that you may not agree with the person. You may not even like the person, but you should still try to respect the individual that is talking ugly to you. Because at the end of the day, they're just making themselves look bad. Now, I mean, if they're being like racist, or, you know, they're doing something that crosses a moral and, you know, company policy line, then yes, by all means, get after it and get it right. You know, you have ways and means of taking care of business and handling your business the way you need to. But at the end of the day, try to approach that person. Talk to them. Pull them in close. Hey, what's going on? You got a problem? Let's talk about it. I'm here for you. I want to get this ironed out. I don't want to be that guy that we don't see eye to eye. If I have offended you, you let me know. Come to me, talk to me. Let's fix this. You're not going to always be able to do that with people. I encourage you to at least try. It will help you immensely. It'll help you feel better about yourself. It'll help you to keep from carrying around bitterness. I've had so many people ask me, hey, James, how come your ex-wife left you for another guy? How come you're not bitter at her? I said, because I choose not to be. How come you don't hate her? Because I choose not to hate her. She made a choice, which in turn caused me to make a choice. I'm not going to fall into that hate trap of hating someone for making a choice. Do I agree with her choice? No. Do I support her choice? No. But at the same time, I'm not going to hate her for that. You know, at the end of the day, she's going to have to answer for that on her own when it's her time. Not to me, but she's going to have to answer for it. So, that being said, you know, you have to remember that there are people that make choices every day. We make choices in every conversation and every interaction and everything that we do every single day. Now, granted, you know, the choice to leave a light on in the kitchen or to turn the light off, that's a minor choice. The choice to watch, you know, the 1883 or 1923, that's a choice. It's not a good choice or a bad choice. Each choice has a consequence. Consequences can be good, consequences can be bad. Excuse me. If you're supposed to get up and go to work, and you know you're supposed to get up and go to work, and you choose not to go to work, okay, let's just say, for instance, but James, my schedule had me scheduled off this day. Okay, or you're full-time, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So you're full-time, you're scheduled off, and you opted not to open your mouth about it to somebody. That's a consequence. The consequence isn't bad, like you're going to get fired. The consequence is you're going to miss on pay. And that's a thing, you know. There are consequences, you know. I mean, I have a consequence that I'll pay if I don't do certain things. If I don't go to work and pay my bills, they're going to turn my stuff off or come get my truck. If I decide I'm going to work outside in the bright sun and not wear a hat, I'm going to get a burnt head. Go Marksmen, by the way. Local hockey team. Yes, I know you can't see me. Give me a second. I'm adjusting my hat because, yeah. That being said, no. There's consequences for everything. If you don't go out and mow your grass, it's not, you're not going to get in trouble for it. It's just going to make your yard look junky, right? I mean, seriously, if you take a shower and you don't use soap, there's a consequence for that. You're going to still smell. Okay? It's little consequences. And they're all called consequences no matter what. There's good consequences too. You choose to be kind and friendly to somebody, well, then that's going to turn into a friend who could turn into a lifelong friend, or, whatever. Could turn into a relationship of some sort. That's just how it is. I choose to be kind to everybody. It doesn't matter who they are. I don't care if you're black, white, polka dotted, man, woman, child, dog, whatever. I'm going to be kind because it's just my nature. It's who I am. It's what I want to do. So the consequences of that is sometimes I can be taken advantage of. I have to be mindful of that. So just remember that when you're dealing with those above you, those around you, when you're dealing with those people, you need to remember that you are the one. You're the one who can make that situation better or worse. You're not going to make the immediate better or worse, but you're going to make it better or worse. That being said, I choose to make it better, and I hope you choose to make it better too. When it comes to your relationships and how you deal with people, if there's somebody that treats you the way you don't want to be treated, at least talk to them about it. Get their side of it. Find out what's going on. What gives? Is it a situation where, this person's mistreating me because they had a bad day. They didn't have enough coffee, or they got bad news and they just don't know how to compartmentalize their own personal stuff away from the job. Most of the time, that's it. Most of the time, people are in a sour grapes kind of day mood because they got some news that they didn't want to get, and it sucked, and they don't know how to process and compartmentalize it. That's just how it goes. So you have to be mindful of those type of things. Yes, we're all capable of being evil. We're all capable of being and doing bad things and saying bad things and ugly things. But at the same time, we're also capable of so much good and so much positivity. So don't let that person that you work with, or that manager that you have over you, or whatever, don't let that person be, don't let them get in your head and live there rent free. Charge them rent. Seriously, charge them rent. Get with them. And don't do it ugly type either. Just sit there and just go, hey, so-and-so, I feel like I may have offended you in some kind of way due to how you speak to me and treat me. Could we talk about this? Because I don't feel that the way you're treating me and speaking to me is proper, especially due to your position. Most of the time, they're going to come back at you and go, sorry, I've had a bad day. Or whatever. Or they're going to tell you they feel left out because you don't include them for whatever reason. Just be mindful of that and remember to be helpful to them. Help them to help you. As I have that saying that I live by, help me to help you. That's what I tell my people. Help me to help you. I'm here for you, but let me help you. So with that being said, I hope all of you find yourselves doing well. I apologize for the lag time on doing these continuously. It's been very busy. I put a video up this morning. In the video, I only mentioned coffee and cream. I have changed how I do things. I have cut sugar from my diet, so I like my sugar with coffee and cream. I like my coffee with a little bit of cream. So that should explain a little bit on that video. I hope all of you are doing well. Continue to, keep keep an eye out on the channel. I am trying to do better about making more content. I'm still not streaming, but I'm still trying to do some kind of content. Hope that you guys continue to watch. I hope you continue to like it. Share it with your friends if you find it helpful. If you need me to elaborate more on this video or any of the other Coffee Talk videos, by all means, please put it in the comments. I do check the comments, so just put it in the comments. Let me know, and if I get people that need more explanation, then I'll do a deeper dive. So by all means, I hope you all are doing well. Thanksgiving's on the horizon. It don't feel like it right now. I'm out here wearing a t-shirt, but still, you guys take care of yourselves. One more sip for the road, and I will catch you on the next Coffee Talk with XG Wolverine. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.